I'm Mitchell Ryan Darcy, and it's kind of funny. I'm not feeling well. After posting Lego movie review, I'm like, okay, I'm working on other things, and it's like editing and stuff, other future videos and that, and it's like I I've been feeling fine those 2 weeks that I haven't posted anything, and then it's like, oh, I even recorded a bunch of things and stuff, and then it's like, oh, now I'm not sick, or now I'm sick. I can't even think straight. What better time to go to a public place and watch in a crowded theater a movie and share my sickness with anyone that's within reach of me. It sounds so bad when you say it out loud, but yeah, I'm gonna try make my way to watch Miss Marvel. Oh my god, if I knew I was going to be sick, I would have filmed my review way in advance when I wasn't sick. But anyways, I haven't seen the movie yet, hence the before segment. From what I've heard, and because I haven't really heard any major spoilers yet, I do know it takes place in the 90s, so this is before Iron Man in the timeline of the Marvel Cinematic Universe. And I did see when International Movie Database, when the movie first came out, it had a pretty low score. I think it had like for a Marvel movie, I think it had like a 6.9, which is kind of on the low end for Marvel. But usually when they first come out, Marvel movies usually start off high and then go low over time. So I found it interesting that the first couple of days Captain Marvel was low, and then over time, a couple of days later, it checked back, it slowly went up one tick, and I think now it's like 7.1, 7.2. I don't know, I haven't checked in a while. I try to avoid checking stuff like that, but it's kind of hard to miss when you're looking at news for International Movie Database. It's like, oh, it's making lots of money, stuff like that. I hope it's good. The only thing I'm worried about is if the character of Miss Marvel, because I know they're trying to... I apologize if I say Miss Marvel. That's the name I'm used to saying for the comics, this character. Because Captain Marvel was somebody else, but then Captain Marvel, the most famous version was, I think, the version that we're currently getting on screen. So I always say Miss Marvel because I'm just used to that name from I think it was used in Ultimate Alliance, the video game, the Marvel video game with all the characters crossover. Captain Marvel. I'm wondering, is she gonna break the universe? Like, one of the reasons I don't like Justice League, it's kind of like Superman. When you got somebody who can run faster than a speeding bullet, jump over walls, or jump over entire buildings in a single bound, and like is basically invincible except for one little green rock that's only really found in outer space and sometimes on Earth for some reason. I am afraid, is Captain Marvel too overpowered of a character? Because like when they announced they were going to do, okay, so after Avengers Infinity War is going to be split up into 2 movies, and after the first part, it's going to be Ant-Man and Wasp, and then then Miss Marvel, and then the Avengers movie. You kind of figured something was going to happen in Avengers Infinity War that, maybe... I mean, I'll be honest, when I saw Infinity War, I wasn't expecting what I did see for the ending. It kind of makes sense because it is supposed to be a 2-parter, so it only makes sense it ends at a cliffhanger. Spoiler warning. At the end, we got a little... I think it was end credit scene. Samuel L. Jackson hit a button, realizes something terrible is happening, hits a button on his magical whatever the hell pocket watch thing, and then it's like the symbol for Miss Marvel appears. So she didn't appear herself, but like she got called. But so if this takes place in the 90s and it's going to tell the origin story of Captain Marvel, where has she been this whole time? Is she going to be too overpowered? Everyone's guessing at this point, and they're like, oh, Miss Marvel's just going to swoop in and, save everyone sort of thing for Avengers Endgame. Wow. I actually blanked out on... I was going to say Infinity War Part 2. It might as well be called Infinity War Part 2, but I like how it's a different name. So I praise Endgame being the name of the movie. Anyways, so I just assume like this movie's gonna basically help me judge the Avengers Endgame. It's like, is she gonna be way too overpowered? Did something happen? Did maybe her power got crippled or something? I don't even know. I'm not as familiar with the character, so she like shoots like beams of like destruction everywhere. Like it's something like that. I don't know. I'm not familiar with the character. Maybe they changed it up. Maybe she has slightly different powers. I don't know. What is her weakness? I don't know. Um, it's like when I go see a Superman movie. I know what I'm gonna get. Like he's gonna be overpowered as and then he's gonna be like, his weakness is kryptonite. They're gonna somehow work that into the script and all that. So going in, I know the hero. Captain Marvel, I don't really know anything. I'm excited because Samuel Jackson and Jude Law and Clark Gregg is back. I'm super excited for that. I kind of hope it doesn't spoil anything for Agents of Shield. As you know, they have not released season 3 and onwards on DVD or Blu-ray in North America. Still waiting for that, but I did find Zavi, which is a British online thing. They've recently got the rights to the third one to release, so I actually got that. So I have the third season now, region free Blu-ray, and I haven't got around to watching it because I'm like, I kind of hope they're going to release the rest of the seasons. Like, I have so much to catch up on. So many movies and TV shows I need to watch. But anyways, Miss Marvel, I'm just kind of worried. I mean, is it going to be a lame origin story? Is it going to break new territory? This is the first female lead, female-led Marvel film since, Elektra? I could be mistaken on that, but and it's doing extremely well, which I'm quite happy for. Excited to see the technology. Did they perfect the younger technology? Because they made Samuel L. Jackson look younger. Same with Clark Gregg, I think. See them very briefly in the trailer. So I always seen the first trailer for it. I closed my eyes for any other trailers. I think at one point she punches an old lady. So I kind of assume it's those guys that was it Crawl? I think they're called Krulls. I think I know them from a different Marvel game or whatever, but they're Skrulls or something. They like shapeshift and they can become other people and all that, or even copy their powers, I think. So it's like, if that is the case, which I think it is, if that major thing happens before Iron Man, how come nobody knows about it? How is Agents of Shield? How's Shield keep the secret of a whole bunch of race of shapeshift coming down from space and invading the planet, or some plot line like that? I don't know. I'm just guessing at this point. So I'm super excited to watch, see how it goes. And I assume there's going to be an end credit scene, a little hint for Endgame, just like a little. I'm not expecting a full trailer like the very first, or Captain America, the first Avenger, where they actually showed a trailer for Avengers. I don't think they're going to show a trailer. What I am worried about is the beginning, before the movie starts. Is Marvel actually going to show the trailer for Spider-Man Homecoming and Avengers Endgame? Because it's kind of a spoiler. I assume Captain Marvel appears in the trailer for Avengers Endgame. Why? I know you want to market the movie, but everybody knows Avengers Infinity War Part 2 is coming out this year. I don't think it's a secret, okay? You can actually you don't need any more marketing. You already released the trailer, and I haven't seen the trailer. I'm keeping my eyes shut for anything Avengers related. I think I just saw a little bit because I didn't realize that was an Avengers Endgame trailer, and I think I saw Hawkeye, but I could be mistaken. I closed my eyes right away because I'm like, oh shit, this is probably Avengers. that sort of thing. So I'm hoping they don't really show any trailers for Marvel movies before a Marvel movie. Let other films get advertised in front of your movie, Marvel. That way you get more money, because they'll be like, oh, your movie's going to do really well no matter what. So we want to pay as much money as possible to show films that aren't Marvel related, because we know you're already going to make money. So, anyways, time to watch Captain Marvel. I just watched Captain Marvel, and wow, 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 wow. Okay, no, I did really enjoy the movie. Okay, non-spoiler part of the review, I just want to say I really enjoyed the movie. I found it more entertaining from start to finish than Ant-Man Wasp. I felt like it had more to offer in either story, backstory. It definitely felt like, even though it take place back then, it felt like it did open up more information. So it kind of had a bit more of an edge over Ant-Man Wasp, but that's just me. Because Ant-Man Wasp was still very enjoyable, but it was just more of a... It did have some new stuff and all that, like information-wise, but it's more like... I don't know, I just felt like that movie was like more like one big chase scene, which was nice. It was like, here's the thing. Marvel's at the point where it's like they made so many movies. It's kind of like, what makes a bad Marvel movie? And it's like, I'm just thinking, going back and seeing like reruns on TV a lot recently, like they've been playing, the original Fantastic Four and Daredevil, Elektra, like Punisher, like the one with John Travolta. Like, it's like, what makes a bad Marvel film? And it's like, the MCU did have some bad films, but Marvel Cinematic Universe at their worst was an okay film, in my opinion. The Incredible Hulk movie, for example, For the Dark World, okay, slightly above average, but slightly above average for Marvel Cinematic Universe. The universe is basically okay, like average. That's basically where the line is at. Yeah, even Venom, like, was pretty good. Captain Marvel is just a welcomed addition, in my opinion. Just because, though she was a bit overpowered, it's hard to say, because it's like, the progression of this movie, she starts off by, she basically said, during another turning point in the film, where she's like, I've had my hand, one of my hands tied behind my back, just imagine what I could do with both hands, sort of thing, and referencing her power and all that. So it's like, when she does get full power, she does seem really OP, and it's like, I'm wondering, it's like, just how much of it, because the Marvel Cinematic Universe is going to definitely try jumping into something more out there. Like, it's going to get more and more out there the more they move on, because though Earth can be like a main stage, there's always going to be just something that's going to like push it out of the stars, or because Earth is basically where the stakes are as far as we know. We live in Earth right now, so it's like, let's imagine if the Marvel Cinematic Universe was real, and, all the stuff that comes with it, and it's like, we're in jeopardy, who's going to save us? Avengers. Save as many people as they can, not everyone. So there is going to be always that stake of stuff going to be revolved around Earth. It's kind of like Doctor Who with London. It's like, you have all space and time, why do you keep going back to London? It's just relatable, because it is a British show to begin with, so it's like, it always makes sense that they would go to, well, not London specifically, but United Kingdom. So it's kind of like that. So Captain Marvel, didn't feel like it. Once again, it is standard origin story, enjoyable enough. Still had the Marvel style humor, and ideas and stuff like that. It's just another good, if not great, Marvel film. Comparing it to like Iron Man 1, the first Thor movie, the first Incredible Hulk movie, the first Ant-Man movie, like when it introduces us to a new concept and everything, it's so much easier to enjoy it because it's new, because you haven't seen something like this before. Even though it was the 90s, Nick Fury's going to be alive, and Clark Gregg is going to be alive by the end of it, because this is before. And it's like if you've seen Avengers or anything that comes afterwards, it's like you already know we're at the point now. Our turning point is with everyone, half the people turning to dust. But anyways, there's a certain amount of characters where you're like in this, where you're like they're gonna be fine by the end of it. So if other characters are hanging around this character, I feel like it's gonna be safe. That sort of thing. It was a joy seeing Samuel L. Jackson in a Marvel movie where it's not like less of a cameo, but more supporting actor, like an actual decent amount of screen time and all that. I think the most screen time he's had, I think, was maybe the first Avengers movie, and that was a great movie. Remember when the first Avengers movie came out, and it was amazing, and I saw it like 4 times. I can't remember if I've seen Avengers 4 or 5 times in theaters, but Avengers is like because it's new that they're all combined together. There's rewatchability. When you watch a Marvel film now, once is enough. And I mean the only exception was Avengers Infinity War. That movie I wish I saw on at least 3 times. I wish. I only saw it twice. Captain Marvel as a movie, I could definitely see why some people hated it. For me, Captain Marvel as a technical film, there was a couple, like in the beginning, I loved how it sort of went into it, because when you're explaining at this point, because of Guardians of the Galaxy, whenever they do something space related, they sort of just have to jump into it and hope that audiences understand it or get it, or get what they're trying to do and all that. So in this movie, I had no trouble getting into it. There was a couple of things there was one specific part where it's like 5 minutes or so, where it's like, it's just flashback after, well, it felt like 5 minutes, but it's like it's showing flashback after flashback, and it turns out she's being interrogated by the Skrull, and it's like, from an editing standpoint, it's like they're really having fun with the psychedelic moments in Marvel movies now. Like, it all started when Ant-Man and then Doctor Strange. It's like whenever they do something weird out there, it's like they kind of made it the standard of Marvel films to have something that either designed beautifully weird or crazy or dreamlike or whatever. And the interrogation scene is just sort of a montage of things from her supposed past life. It might be a memory thing. We're not sure at this point in the film, and it's like done pretty well. But it's just, as a first time viewer, even after seeing all the other Marvel films, I was still a little bit taken back by sort of a bit of a confusion, and it's like, what exactly is happening, but in the wrong sort of feeling type way. Like, I was like, if I came across this, I'd be like, I don't even know what I'm watching. I don't want to watch this, because it's just it keeps jumping without sort of a reason, and then finally they do, near the end of the montage, get to the reason. It's like, oh, she's being interrogated mind-wise. She's visualizing it, and they're trying to get bits of information from her memory, stuff like that. But until that point, you could definitely be very confused. So, and I think I felt a bit of it could have been shortened or changed up a bit editing-wise, or maybe even add, a little bit more to let you know it's an interrogation ahead of time, sort of type thing. But overall, I enjoyed Captain Marvel. The very beginning, the Stan Lee, I was not expecting them to do that for the logos for Marvel, because the new Marvel logo, the newer one, it shows clips from the movies and all that, and then seeing them replace all the clips with all of Stan Lee's cameos throughout it, like that was uh, that was a great way to. I mean, that's the first time I think I've seen a tribute right at the beginning of a film. Because usually tributes are at the end of the film when things are over. Like when I saw Amazing Spider-Man, or not Amazing Spider-Man, Spider-Man Into the Spider-Verse. Gosh, it had the sort of the tribute at the end, and Captain Marvel they did it right at the beginning because I don't know why, but like it definitely. I'm actually sad to say I didn't realize they were doing that right at the beginning because I'm like, oh, it's the Marvel logo, and so I'm like, my mom, I went to see Captain Marvel with my mom and her friend, and it was like, I turned over to her to say something. I don't remember what it was, but like, and I looked up the screen and I missed like the first little bit of the logo because I saw the Marvel logo was starting and I'm like, oh, I've seen this a million times, and it's like, on a second glance, I was like, oh shit, they actually did something. They changed it up so it's all Stan Lee, and yeah, and it's just, I thought it was a really well done sort of, like that was, pulled at the heartstrings. It does that quote at the beginning, and then it's like, then the movie actually starts, and it's like, yeah, that's, and yeah, so I enjoyed the film. Thought the action was great. Choice of songs were great. A lot of songs I recognize just because I know of those songs from Rock Band. I will say probably I really, because in the beginning I was a little bit like, okay, jumped into it. I'm ready to jump into it, and then it's like, them doing the mission way before they get to Earth. Once they get to Earth, I find that's where the movie got really good, is like when you were done that whole space thing for the beginning. Once you got to Earth, I'm like, from here on out this movie is actually golden, and that's what I felt. Definitely wouldn't mind rewatching this film. I just want to know Endgame at this point. How is it gonna go? How is it gonna end? I guess I'll have to save that for that review. I'm glad Marvel did not show Spider-Man, the sequel. Didn't show the trailer for Endgame, anything at all, before this movie started. And I don't know if it was just our theater or maybe in Canada, but like I kind of hope they did that everywhere else, because I mean, everybody knows about Endgame. Everybody is going to go see Endgame when it comes out. So let's face it, it's like Marvel doesn't even need to advertise at this point. They just, drop the movie in theaters and they'll make money, Oh, the cat was great as well. Have to mention the cat. Thing is, I already knew, I think from some comics and whatever, that the cat is an alien thing. So that's the thing about this movie is there was a lot of the like major surprises wasn't as surprising, but it was a good enough surprise. The surprises that did happen throughout the film, like there was some general turns and twists that I felt were like, that's really well done. That was unexpected. Holy crap! I never actually clued in, and it's like, while others were like, yeah, I kind of expected it. So some of it is a bit predictable. I didn't let that bother my enjoyment of the film. But yeah, Captain Marvel was a welcome addition to the Avengers. Hope you tear Thanos a new one. There's definitely gonna be some confirmed deaths in Endgame. There has to be. Like, I just can't imagine. It's like, what's the plot? Is it gonna be like? Because I mean, in the Blockbuster store, I saw her pick up the VHS tape. Captain Marvel picked up The Right Stuff, and I haven't seen The Right Stuff yet. That's a movie I have to watch. And I think that I'm under the impression that's a movie about a group of astronauts going into like on a mission or like a one-way trip sort of type thing or whatever. I'm just starting to think. I wonder if that has more meaning than what I think it does. Like, I'm starting to think maybe Endgame is gonna be them getting into like a space shuttle and just traveling out to Thanos or something like that. Like, I don't know. It's like what's it gonna be? Like, they're gonna confront Thanos and then what? It's like, I guess use the time stone. Like, there's so many theories of what they could do. But yeah. Anyways, less than a month. It's like a month and a couple weeks. Like, Endgame. Oh my gosh. It's only been what, 15 years at this point for Marvel? Actually, no, it's the first 10 years was like a year or two ago. It's like 12 years into the Marvel event, and it's like, wow, 12 years of my life has gone by. I remember seeing in the theater and being like, end credit scene, it's like, just thinking, oh, I just really enjoyed this superhero movie. It's really well done. And then it's like, they drop the bombshell of, I want you for the Avengers initiative, says Samuel L. Jackson, Nick Fury. And it's like, that one little simple idea just changed everything. And it's like speculation. I'm like, oh my god, they're gonna do the Avengers. Holy shit. And then it's like, 12 years later, Marvel has done it. And now they're just, expanding the roster. They're just, it's going to be, the movies are going to end up like the comics at some point. We're going to have several different versions of the same thing. And it's like, and that's what movies are. Every movie's going to be like a comic book. It's going to be like, it's going to be different people writing it, different people doing adaptations. It's like, it's going to change. You're going to have versions that you like, versions that you hate. This is what Marvel's is going to do long run. And we've already sort of seen it with like even movies that are not Marvel Cinematic Universe. Like, how many different versions of Batman has there been? How many different versions of Spider-Man has there been? And it's like, and it's gonna get to the point where it's gonna be like, you don't have to see every Marvel film. You just see the ones you want to see. It's like comics. You can't read them all. Read the ones that you want to read. If you think about that way, that just gives just an idea of like what they can do, and at certain points, and it depends who does the script, who does it's all up to them and the producers, like the crew. And it's like, right now they're taking it slow and steady. I mean, in the past, I remember there was a time where Marvel movies came out, and it's like, oh, I have to wait a whole nother year for another Marvel film. And it's like, now we're getting so many. It's like, I think last year alone was Black Panther, Avengers Infinity War, Venom, Into the Spider-Verse, and Ant-Man and Wasp. Yeah. That's on the Marvel side. And then you got Aquaman, and then, it's like, there's so many superhero movies, and all of them are, it's been a while since we've had a really bad superhero movie. Like, I mean really bad. I mean, like, maybe Daredevil, or I don't know, like, I'm not talking about the TV show, I'm talking about, Ben Affleck version. But, I give those movies a kind of a bit of a flack. It's like, we're no longer at that point. We're at the point where it's like, I don't know what I'm getting at. I'm just going off into nothing. I really like the performance that Skrull guy did. I'm not sure who actor is playing him, but like, he kind of knocked it out of the park. It was kind of interesting because early on in the film, I'm like, a decent performance. Like, it doesn't. It's on the verge of noteworthy, but then it's like, when you really get to know that character, that's when it's like, damn. Another thing I want to mention is Alison Brie did a tremendous job as Captain Marvel. I honestly really liked her performance. Jude Law also did a really good job. Definitely loved the use of characters who I didn't think they would ever need to use again in the Marvel universe, and they're going back and reusing some of these characters, and it's surprising, and it's well done, and I enjoyed it. Like, I mean, that sort of aspect of the film. But yeah, I enjoyed Captain Marvel for the most part. So I want to know what you thought of Captain Marvel. Let me know in the comments below. Thank you very much for watching. I want you to have a nice day or night or whatever time you watch this. Have a nice whatever.